Hey guys, it's Keith here, and I'm excited to be showing you this one because we're going to be playing with the Su-25s, a motomech division, playing on the map of Bay of Winds, focusing on the left side of the map here. I just want to quickly apologize for being relatively inactive for the past couple of weeks here because work has been very busy for me as well as my personal life, as I'm playing a few things in my life right now. But I'm happy to be back on this game, and this game I think it's going to be a particularly fun one to watch because we're going to be using a lot of close air support as well as powerful infantry tactics to be shown in this game. So I'm not going to spoil a lot today. I hope you sit back, relax, and of course, and as always, enjoy the show. And with the start of the match here, we're going to be bringing out the Su-27 flanker in this case, but we're going to be joined by plenty of allies aircraft in here today. We have ourselves a Su-25S, a MiG-29K, and even a Su-57, all joining our tiny little flanker here and challenging the enemy airplanes over the Bay of Winds map. And today we're going to be coming up against double orange F-22 Raptors, our teammates charging their planes directly into the faces of these Raptors here, giving no chance for the Raptors to duck away using their stealth. And we managed to eliminate both of the orange players' Raptors as well as the peach players' one, but at the cost of all of our teammates' aircraft being destroyed by the enemy SAM batteries over in the back here. Our Su-25SM flanker manages to escape unharmed or minor damages, but we're going to be pulling that back to the hangar and get it refunded because we are now going to be focused on bringing in some ground forces to challenge the Gamma position. In today's match, I'm going to be focused on the left side of the map here, primarily over the Gamma objectives as well as the Charlie position. Supported by our neon green player here, we're going to be expecting a lot of fun, very intense combat, and it's going to be a good video to watch today. Already we're bringing in a couple of BTR-82s, and each of these BTR is going to be carrying a couple of Igla teams as well as cornet squads, so powerful supporting infantry here, providing long-range fire support against the enemy forces here. Teammates driving away the enemy killer eggs here is going to be covering our ground forces, but I did manage to see that the Alpha objective has already been captured by the enemy forces here. So we're going to be telling one of the BTRs to offload the units here, the cornet as well as the Igla, further back, making sure that we cover the roads just next to the Gamma position. The rest of the units, however, are going to be told to push into the Gamma objectives, at which case we're going to be spotting the pink player now is bringing in a lot of war pigs here, and each of these war pigs are very quick and is going to be able to carry plenty of units here, with the pink player being quite aggressive with his forces pushing into Gamma position. We're going to have to be careful in contesting that objectives for ourselves. Thankfully, however, our BTR-82 as well as Cornet team manages to take down a couple of these war pigs, which is going to be causing stress as well as damaging some of the units here. As you can see, the TOW 2 team is already down to very low health, but we are coming up under fire from the enemy standoff deltas here with the new updates to the unit cards here, and the standoff delta is equipped with some very powerful Fletcher rockets here. So as you can see, the Delta already dealing a lot of damage to my Cornet teams. We're going to be telling the Cornet to duck away behind the buildings here and get some distance between themselves and the Delta. BTR-82 is going to be pecking at the Delta from a distance here for the time being. But the enemy has a heavy concentration of forces here in the Gamma position, while our units are temporarily out of position right now. But we're going to play it slow, making sure that we keep recons on the side here. So you can see one of the BTR carrying the Razvedka squads towards this tree line here, as I want to make sure that I have my flanks covered from the enemy forces. In the unit card here, the Su-25SM Frogfoot launches a lot of S8 rockets in target right now and completely destroying the enemy Delta squad, and then trying to eliminate the enemy TOW squad as well, but unfortunately unable to take out the last remaining HP belonging to the TOW team here. But what a powerful close air support displayed from our Frogfoot there, really efficiently destroying one of the enemy Delta squads there. But we're going to be telling these Frogfoot to go back to the hangar, as we are now focusing on bringing in more ground forces here, a couple of BMPs as well as more infantry to contest the Gamma objectives. BTR-82 is going to be told to push up. It's going to be engaging the enemy Ranger squad right now, and teammate Neon Green player on the right side here providing some support with his own infantry. The other BTR-82 is going to be finding a cheeky flank over on the left side here, making sure that we engage the enemy forces from multiple angles here. And generally, that's what you want to be doing, is to be able to engage the enemy forces from multiple directions, multiple angles, and preventing or limiting the enemy's option to duck away, find cover, and break line of sight. So in this case, this BTR-82 continues to become a nuisance at the side of this enemy player here. But I want to draw your attention right now to the scorecard. As you can see, the enemy is already up in 464 points ahead of us, and that's because we failed to capture some of our backcaps here. And in this new game mode here, the Conquest game mode, every single point counts, as the enemy is quickly ticking up right now, leaving us in the dust right now. So we're gonna have to tell one of our BTR-82s to quickly move into the Juliet objectives to capture that. I'm pinging the Foxtrot objective as well, and hopefully our teammates gonna be capturing that as well. The new game mode is definitely a welcome change to the new gameplay here, and definitely is going to be making sure that both sides of the team here continues to put more pressure into the objectives and not wait for the last minute of each phase to push into the objectives itself. So definitely liking this new gameplay mode a lot. Our Spetsnaz crew still in position right now, just being told to hold fire, because I want to maintain the recon that the Spetsnaz crew is providing right now. As you can see, Spetsnaz crew able to keep eyes on the enemy LAV AD as well as the AAVP, which is undoubtedly acting like a forward supply dump for these Ranger squads to get back to resupply. As you can see, the Rangers RRC already topped up, and it's going to be told to push back into the Gamma objectives. A second Frogfoot now being brought into play, and the Frogfoot is equipped with a couple of seed missiles as well, able to cover itself against the enemy radar SAM batteries here, as well as engaging the radar SAM batteries itself, launching one of the seed missiles into the enemy SHORAD, destroying the purple player SHORAD before swinging around and destroying the enemy RRC that's been taking cover on one of the high rises here. So very cool scene by our Su-25SM here, the Frogfoot. Definitely a powerful aircraft on the Russian side. Not going to be the last moment we're going to see these Frogfoot in action today, as the Frogfoot is definitely the star of the show of this match today. As we continue to put more pressure into the pink player that's currently trying to hold on to the Gamma objectives right now, we're also trying to develop more of our position here, as one of the BTR-82s carrying the Vikhr is going to try to sneakily push up, but undoubtedly that high rise, specifically this tower here, is it's an obvious choice for enemy forces to put in a recon unit here. So I should have seen that coming, but unfortunately I misplayed that a little bit. But the Vikhr is just going to be hiding away from the enemy STT squad. The enemy players are using a lot of smoke mortars here today, which is supposedly trying to break our line of sight, but we're going to be utilizing that smoke to our advantage here, as our BMP-2Gs now, very cheap transport, is going to be pushed into the smoke and offloading some of these units right now. The Motostrelki is going to be capturing this section of the buildings here, while the BMPs, the IFVs here, providing a lot of fire support into the weakened enemy special forces here, completely eviscerating both the Rangers squad as well as the tow team right now currently under attack. You can see the surprise and very furious assault of our BMPs now, pushing the enemy on the back foot right now and making sure that we keep the units away from this section of the map here. Particularly this section of the map, the buildings where my Motostrelkis are, is actually a very powerful commanding position to be in, particularly on this map, because that those buildings there allows your units to be able to overlook the left and the right flank, which is pretty much just open ground. Making sure that we capture this position is going to be useful and powerful for us to keep hold of. We're going to see a lot more of that in action in the later stages of the game. Enemy players are still continuously using the smoke here to try and block our line of sight, but with this kind of playstyle right now, all we have to do is just make sure that we keep pushing our units beyond the smoke and making sure that we have more units in play, able to hold the enemy's eventual push. You can see that the purple player now is going to be committing his assault into the Charlie position, where our neon green player is going to be holding the line at. Medved now just gonna be shipping around or moving the supplies offloaded by our Duplo earlier on, and this Medved is gonna be is able to actually carry 4,000 kilograms of supplies here. So crucial, necessary unit, supporting unit here to be ferrying some of these supplies for all of our units all around the map right now. But nevertheless, we're going to be bringing in more reinforcements to stabilize our front, as we already have control over Gamma right now, and all we have to do is to make sure that we secure better positions to prevent the enemies from committing an assault. But our teammate on to the right side here, Neon Green, is struggling a little bit with the enemy's very aggressive push into these tree lines here. So we're going to have to we're going to be forced to commit our Motostrelkis to try and push into the tree lines here and try to clear the enemy's Delta as well as Ranger squads, making sure that we secure and support our teammate on the right side here. BMP3s as well as the BMP2Gs now pushing in to provide some support over the Motostrelki sword, but I did make the mistake of pushing my Medved into the line of fire here, so unfortunately our Medved gets taken out for free. Nevertheless, a brutal fight still going around over in the Charlie sector here, but slowly but surely we can see our Cornet teams in a perfect position to be able to cover the open terrain and prevent the enemy's tanks from pushing into the tree lines here, where they can absolutely do a lot of damage to our units at close range. In this deck here, I did mention that about the Frogfoot, and because I have 4 units of Frogfoot, so specifically I have 2 Su-25SM equipped with these S8 rocket launchers, 120 rockets in fact, as well as the Su-25T, which is equipped with 16 Vikhr missiles. We're going to see that in action as well, but here we go. We're going to be bringing out a third Su-25SM Frogfoot here, providing us with some cover and making sure we strike down some of the enemy vehicles or infantry that's just loitering about right now. So Su-25SM is going to be coming in very furiously right now, and it's going to be charging in, finding the wounded purple tank. It's going to be eliminating it before turning around, trying to strike down the other tank, but a better target just showed itself, and we successfully takes down the enemy Patriot missile battery as well. So what a fantastic close air support strike. We did end up losing the Frogfoot, but I think it was a worthy trade in the end. With the purple player's units sort of repelled right now, the pink player which has been slowly building up his forces, has now decided to push up ahead. We're coming up against the Marine Raiders as well as the Rangers right now. A small team just hanging out behind is going to be spotted by our sniper, so we're going to be telling one of our BMPs to engage that small team. These BMPs were in fact carrying some engineering sappers here, so the engineers with the thermobaric launchers. It's going to be a powerful infantry to hold the line against the enemy special forces here. And we're going to have to be careful at using these sappers. As you can see, our BMP2Gs is happily just shooting away at the small team here. The small team taking a lot of damage right now. Pink player is gonna have to move his small team away and try to break line of sight, preventing my BMP2Gs from scoring a simple, effective kill. Pulimachiki court teams here bumping into the enemy RRC, but our T-72B3M is already in station and it's gonna be launching a lot of shells into the enemy RRC. As you can see, we're continuously developing our position, making sure that we have a wide front here, making sure that we have multiple angles against the enemy forces, so that we are able to engage the enemy forces from all sides, preventing the enemy from taking cover behind these buildings here. Once again, I'm using the K16 boomerang here to try and push into the sides of the flank here, and making sure that we eliminate the enemy Rangers RRC squad. Smokes are still being employed by the enemy team here, but it's not going to be doing a lot to our units because they're not taking advantage of the smoke for the time being. So we're going to use that smoke to our advantage, however, and making sure that we push our units ahead and through the smoke, capture and catch the enemy forces by surprise. Pulamachiki Court charging into the building here where the enemy RRC is, but our tank beats the court to it, and it's going to be eliminating the enemy Ranger squad. No problem. So we are now trying to secure the right side of the flank here. These buildings here is going to be providing a lot of cover for our units. Our engineering in position right now, going to be engaging with the enemy Marine Raider squad. With the thermal barracks on the engineering squad, it's definitely going to be an easy fight for our engineering. BMP-2Gs bumping into the enemy Delta squad, but against the frontal armor of the BMP, the Fletcher rockets from the Delta is not going to do the BMP any harm. With the Delta now smoking out, we're going to try to be more aggressive right now and push into the smoke and try to engage and eventually eliminate the enemy Delta squad. Our tactical movements right now on both the left and the right flank of Gamma, especially in these buildings here, is providing us with a lot of vision, a lot of angles of attack against the center position where the enemy Rangers RRC as well as the Morse team were. Our BMP-2Gs unfortunately gets taken down by the enemy M60, so before destroying the enemy Delta squad. So an unfortunate kill, and unfortunately we did not secure the kill on the Delta. Nevertheless, we did manage to push the enemy's units far behind the center line here, putting them on the defensive for the time being, while we are still trying to secure our position, making sure that we bring in more reinforcements to secure most of our angles right now. Rangers Morse unfortunately getting caught out of position here where our tank is already in position, launches a single shell and destroys that Ranger Morse team. So definitely an effective unit to have, the T-72B3M, especially with the new updates, making the tank more effective right now than ever before. All throughout the front, our team has been doing a fantastic job at holding their line here, as expected of this map here. Plenty of close range engagements, forest fight areas, and making sure that we have constant fights throughout the entire match right now. So it's really up to me right now to make sure that we secure the open areas here. As you can see, I'm using these buildings here. Once again, these buildings provides a very significant vantage point. As you can see, our Spetsnaz GRU in a perfect position right now to be able to spot all of the units that the purple player has in play right now. It's a bunch of tanks as well as a Miklik right now. Yeah, it's definitely. As you can see, the Cornet team is now pushing into these buildings here, making sure that we use these buildings to our full advantage. It's going to be in a powerful position to launch ATGMs towards the sides of these tanks here, pushing ahead into the neon green player. Our tank as well as the BMP-2Gs now pushing in, supporting our neon green player. The BMP-2's ATGM actually strikes down one of the enemy SHORAD Bradley there. So lovely kill for our BMP-2. We are now going to be queuing up the Su-25T, and this is a special moment for this game here. You're going to want to see, we're going to want to pay close attention to what the Su-25T is capable of in the future. Nevertheless, we're going to be bringing out the Corsair here to provide vision. What the Su-25T lacks, however, is vision, so we're gonna need to make sure that the Su-25T, the Frogfoot here, has plenty of vision, able to spot its target long before their weapons comes into range. And here we go, the Su-25T is going to be charging directly into the enemy forces here, launching a lot of Vikhr missiles, striking one of the tanks down. Going to be swinging around, taking down one of the enemy M113 before moving into the other side of the river here, taking down the enemy Catfay as well. So what a fantastic display of CAS support from our Su-25T. What a fun moment to witness there. We definitely put a lot of pressure onto both the pink as well as the purple players right now, but our Pulamachiki Court engaging against the standoff deltas is going to be having a problem against it. And while this was all going on, I neglected to develop my positions on the left flank here, and the enemy is pushing a Ranger squad which has already eliminated our Vikhr towards the left, and it's going to be engaging and destroying our Chrysanthemum as well. But for that trade, we have developed a powerful position in front of Gamma, and occupying most of these buildings here is going to put our enemy at a very difficult position to assault into our objectives. A couple of Giant Sin artillery pieces here has been called in by my side, and we want to make sure that we use these artillery pieces to shell and destroy some of these ATGM positions as we prepare or build up our forces at the very least to make sure that we are in a position to engage and capture the next objective, which is the Alpha objectives. Our snipers in a good position to be spotting a lot of the backline units, and in fact does spot one of the enemy Patriot missiles there. So we're going to be telling the sniper to lace that target, while a Giant Sin will eventually be striking that PAC-2 down. Ping player now pushing more units into that building, the block of buildings there, so we're going to have to fight relatively hard to capture and hold the building down, but the purple player decided nuke is a very good solution to the overwhelming forces that we've been presenting against the enemy forces as well. So we did end up losing quite a number of units here, but a lot of our units that were in those buildings here are currently stressed up. They're still alive, but they're gonna be in need of many assistance right now. Nevertheless, our Giant Sin is going to be targeting the enemy pack, as our sniper does have it laced right now. With the nuke going off, the pink and the purple player now has decided to push up ahead. As you can see, a lot of these pink player icons has been building up, and we're going to have to quickly find a way to offset that enemy push, making sure that we bring in more reinforcements to stabilize the front. Mi-24K, a recon variant, or rather a helicopter here with exceptional 2000 meters of optics here, as well as being equipped with laser designated, well, a laser. It's been told to push up, but I have no use for it right now, so we're gonna just tell the Mi-24 to patrol the backlines a little bit, and making sure that we eliminate any potential enemy sneaky recon that might have actually just dropped off. Neon Green player here bringing a lot of supporting assets here. As you can see, he has a lot of artillery pieces ready on hand, and it's going to be launching some of these artillery pieces into the pink player's objectives. Well, in pink player's units right now, as you can see, the buildings that our units was previously occupied in is now being overrun by all these pink players icons here. So thankful to have plenty of these artillery pieces from our Neon Green player's side. But he's gonna have to bring in more units right now to protect and hold down the Charlie objective, as undoubtedly the purple player will have been building up his forces as well. We're gonna see a lot of big fights happening as well. We did end up losing our Razvedka earlier on, so I'm gonna be bringing in a second Razvedka right now, and again learning from my past mistakes right now, which is I usually forget to bring recon units to maintain vision and keep an eye on where the enemy's units positions are. So a friendly reminder to always have recon units available to you, and making sure that you use them constantly, and making sure you put them in positions where you can spot the enemy's movements. But with our points now floating, we're gonna be able to, and it is necessary for us to call in more reinforcements. I do have some of the wounded units right now. A BMP has been ferrying some of these supporting squads, the Cornet as well as the Igla teams, back to supply down, making sure to get them topped up for the eventual enemy's counter attack into our position as well. Double BMP 3Ms here. It's going to be told to push up into the buildings there, making sure that we capture, once again recapturing that that block of buildings there, making sure that we have that very advantageous position for us to control this side of the map. So the scene right now is pretty quiet. As you can see, we are unable to see any pink player's icon here, because the pink player has been hiding or moving his units away from there. I did tell my Giant Sin to strike, just perform a random strike into this tree line here, hoping to catch out a potential enemy supply dump that's probably inside that that tree line over there. BMP 2Gs ferrying these Cornet team is going to be told to push up. We're going to have to be careful in making sure that we put our units in good positions, but the enemy is going to be committing to an airstrike right now. and did successfully bomb our plane out of the sky, but fortunately our plane was in fact at a low altitude mode, so our onboard units manages to survive the crash, and thankful for that new mechanic, because our units are definitely crucial right now and making sure that we hold our position as best as we can. So lovely new mechanics actually. I quite enjoy the new mechanics where the helicopter in a low ground, the passenger will still survive if the helicopter gets shot down, so definitely a cool gameplay update for that. Nevertheless, our BMPs with these Motostraki squads have arrived to the front. We're going to be bumping into the enemy Green Berets, and the enemy Green Berets is in a very dangerous position right now, immediately getting wiped out. So we're going to be telling our Motostraki right now to push up into these buildings and try and uncover and destroy any potential enemy units. BMP 3 is on standby right now. It's going to be providing support to our Motostraki, but seeing that the enemy is not having any units at the moment where they might challenge us, we're going to try to be a little bit more aggressive with our BMP 3s, pushing up ahead. It's going to be engaging with the enemy Delta squad. We are taking fire from the left side here. One of those buildings is definitely carrying an ATGM squad. But with the M60 revealing its position, the BMP-3 swings around and destroys the M60 without any issue right now. Ranger squads tries to delay us or strike down one of the BMP-3s, but one of the BMP-3 does find a line of sight into the wounded enemy Catfei and strikes it down from a very long range, so kudos to our BMP-3 for doing that. But as we were trying to push out, the purple player now has built up his forces, a tank as well as a couple of RSOF vehicles here. It's going to be ferrying some very dangerous squads, challenging us, so we're going to be pulling back our BMP-3 and leaving our Motostraki in play to try and delay and ambush the enemy forces here. Mi-24 has performed its rearguard duties. It's going to be told to push up right now to try and destroy the enemy Green Berets as well as the RRC squads. Unfortunately, unable to take out both of the squads here. We're going to be finding a line of sights, however, and using this Mi-24 at a very low altitude right now, using these buildings as cover, prevent the enemy Igla, the enemy Stinger teams from getting a line of sight into the Mi-24. In fact, the enemy smokes is doing us a wonderful favor right now with the Mi-24 hovering on low ground. The smoke actually covers the Mi-24 from the enemy Stinger team, so but with the amount of Stinger missiles now trying to strike down our Mi-24, we're going to be telling the Mi-24 to pull back. But it is clear now that the direction of the enemy push will be coming from us through these buildings here. The enemy is just queuing up, just gearing up for the next assault into a position. So we're gonna have to make sure that we keep our units alive and get ready to receive the enemy's assault into the Gamma objective. As I was just paying attention to what my teammates are doing right now and looking at a potential of bringing in a couple of these Frogfoots once again to try and strike and harass the enemy position. We're gonna see how that fares. And like I mentioned, the Su-25SM, the Su-25 are indeed powerful aircrafts to have, but they really require you to have clear vision and line of sight into shooting down any potential enemy threats. As you can see, what we can shoot, we will shoot, but a lot of these enemy units now are hidden from us without any vision. The Su-25SM is not going to be as effective as it was before. 25ST here with the Vikhr missiles does manage to destroy one of the enemy SHORAD, but unfortunately unable to do too much, so we end up losing both of our Frogfoot with limited gains for their sacrifice. Pink player now using the smoke to push his units into position here, so our forces are gonna have to make sure that we was in a bit of a difficult position right now as our Cornet and the Igla teams found out of position right now. Our engineering squad is actually getting engaged by the enemy Delta team, so a lot of our units right now are under a lot of fire. We're gonna have to make sure that we use whatever assets that we can to stabilize the front. The BMP-2 actually doing a very good damage. Fantastic job against the enemy Marine Raider squad. Here comes the purple players' infantry or reinforcements now challenging the Gamma objective once again. So in this case, good use of smoke by the enemy team covering their infantry as assault, but we're gonna be pushing our units as well and fighting in brutal close quarter combat inside these buildings here and among the smoke. Mi-24K has been pushed up very close, and we're gonna have to be careful as the purple player SHORAD currently sitting inside the alpha objective. It's just happily slinging missiles towards our Mi-24K. Pulamachiki Court now just hammering, and this Pulamachiki Court actually does come equipped with 2 Court machine guns, so able to dish out a lot of bullets, a lot of heavy caliber ammo into the Delta team here. But when the Delta does return fire, as well as the sudden appearance of a mech engineer squad, as well as a mech rifleman team, our Pulamachiki Court definitely in a very difficult position right now. Another Su-25SM is going to be called in right now to try and stabilize the front, but we do have the T-72B3M Arena here trying to engage the enemy Delta teams, making sure we destroy the very expensive units for our team here. This T-72 is a rather cheeky one because playing or using these T-72 up ahead without any infantry support is going to be rendering the T-72 in a very dangerous position. But in this case, our gamble does pay off as the T-72 was able to find line of sight into the Delta, and it's going to be taking that Delta squad out. Well, eventually. Yep. Nevertheless, we still have a heavy presence of purple units inside the Gamma objectives right now, and our Cornet and Igla team is gonna have to make a run for it, get away from the very dangerous mech engineers as well as the mech riflemen. Our T-72B3Ms getting out in the open right now, trying to see if they can spot any potential target and try to score some kills. The pink player does have a Ranger squad as well, and temporarily we're gonna end up losing the Gamma position right now because the enemy has outnumbered us. But more reinforcements is going to be quickly brought into the Gamma objective. In this case, we do have the engineering Strumoviki once again, double sapper squads here, powerful infantry against enemy units, enemy ground infantry, and we're gonna watch as the engineering blows up the building where the purple players units are currently taking cover in. T-72 is going to be popping out behind the building right now and taking down both of the enemy war pigs. It's going to be rendering stress into these Ranger squads, but the Rangers does come equipped with Morse here, so we're going to have to be careful with our tank being up close. But with the tank popping out and eliminating the war pigs here, we've delayed and eventually stopped the enemy reinforcements from contesting into the Gamma objective. So the enemy forces right now is quickly overwhelmed by my units as well as the neon green players units coming to support us. So furious counter-attack will be commencing soon as we has quickly wiped out a lot of the enemy forces, and we want to be capitalizing on that. But for the time being, at the very least, we want to make sure that we keep our units healthy, alive, and make sure that we regroup them into better positions to receive and cover the front of the objectives right now. Mi-24 is going to be taking the low ground right now, using the road and trying to find a good line of sight, cheeky line of sight into some of these enemy units here. We're going to have to be careful with that Mi-24, however, because the enemy SHORAD is still present in the back lines here. So we're going to have to make sure that we keep our units alive. Double Strumoviki is now pushing up the center, trying to clear out any potential enemy forces here, but we're going to be spotted by the enemy AAVP, so we're going to have to quickly duck the Strumoviki behind the buildings and get them back to safety. BTI-82 is going to be finding the enemy STT squad, and against the front armor here, the STT squad will not have the weapons capable of penetrating the BTI-82's armor. Su-25 is pushing up ahead. It's going to be uncovering the enemy Marine Raiders as well as the Rangers RRC. So in a bit of a pickle right now, but what we do have is the Mi-24 just prowling about on low ground. It's going to be finding a line of sight into the enemy RRC and launching plenty of S8 rockets into the enemy RRC. Lovely Su-24 strikes, strafing run into the enemy position here, undoubtedly carrying some seed missiles. I believe the neon grey player did successfully take out some of these radar AA pieces here. So kudos to him for doing that very fantastic airstrike. So you can see a lot of pink players' units are hampered and wounded right now, and with our momentum now building up, we've decided to just push our units up ahead. You can see our tank now pushing into the enemy positions here very aggressively. Supported by our neon green player here, will counter-attacking into the enemy's alpha objectives and eliminating a lot of these pink players' units for our team here. Our T-72 is going to be bumping into the enemy Marine Raider squad, but the Marine Raiders once again being outflanked and with multiple units engaging from different positions. You can see strafing run from our Mi-24K. Unfortunately, I did accidentally put the Mi-24K in a high altitude, so it's going to be struck down by the enemy AA unit. Just hiding inside the tree line inside the alpha objectives right now. But the enemy does have plenty of units taking position in the alpha objectives. Our tanks will not be able to defeat against both the small team as well as the Ranger Maw squad. Exceptional units against our armor here, so we're gonna have to pull back our tanks, making sure that we get into a defensive posture to prevent the enemy from counter-attacking us instead. While we have the center strong and in contest, well, we're contesting the center right now, I'm trying to develop more position onto the left side of the map here. Su-25ST here trying to get into line of sight. Once again, the lack of vision is going to be hampering or denying our Su-25 that opportunity to strike down the enemy forces. Right, here we go. Couple of BTR-82 is going to be taking the opportunity right now to develop a position on the left side, offloading some units to contest against the enemy's bastion over there. But the tower on the left still has a single STT squad, so the enemy saw us coming from a mile away. So unfortunately, our BTR-82 was in fact trying to ambush and claim some kills against the enemy Patriot batteries here, but with the STT squad spotting the BTR-82, the enemy is going to have ample time here to prepare and receive our BTR-82 as the purple player's tank now pops into view and it's going to be striking down our BTR-82s. Unfortunately, a bit of a misplay here by my end. Definitely could have used the BTR-82s a little bit better than what we're seeing right now. Su-25ST unable to, once again unable to see, but here comes the enemy Raptor, now slinging a lot of missiles into our Su-25. We're going to be calling in a Su-27SM, try and level the playing field here, and making sure we strike down the enemy's Raptor from a distance as well. Vikhr, unfortunately, unable to take down the enemy Ranger squad down to a very low health. The Ranger is going to be able to get away from us. But we're going to have to be careful with our Vikhr right now because the Vikhr is also wounded, and we're going to have to move that Vikhr away from the front line, keep them healthy once again. The enemy F-22 does have a leg up on us with his stealth, so our Su-27 only manages to launch a single missile, which did strike, but the enemy Raptor just take our flanker down efficiently. More supplies are needed right now, and making sure that we keep our units topped up most of the time is going to be vital for us, as the enemy once again is going to be building up our forces. We do have a couple of T-72 B3Ms, and I'm going to be telling them to hide or duck inside this ditch here, just as a staging force, making sure that we can react to, well, it's going to be using the roads to quickly move into situations where the enemy might be pushing us from. Using tanks like this, making sure that they can be deployed very quickly into positions where they need to be, is going to be a useful tactic for you in the future as well. On the right side here, our neon green player is going to be bringing out a lot of units. As you can see, plenty of multiple Vikhr squads already taking up on the right side of the position. Plenty of smokes from the enemy team as well, as a sign that they're going to be gearing up for another push. We're going to be using our giants in here to destroy some of these enemy mortars here, to limit the abusive usage of smokes from the enemy side. Plenty of reinforcements now slowly moving their way into the front right now. So for the time being, whatever units that we have right now is going to have to make do and hold the line and delay the enemy for as long as possible before our reinforcements can get here. Over on the right side here, you can see purple player committing to an assault, already destroying a couple of these multiple Vikhr squads. So neon green player is going to have to be careful with his units towards the right side here. With this amount of artillery pieces in the back lines here, ideally he needs to be using more frontline infantry, frontline vehicles assets. So he's gonna have to quickly make sure that he uses the artillery pieces to their full effect, as both the pink player and the purple player now is pushing in a coordinated assault. The pink player now challenging the center, while the purple player taking up position over on the right flank. Our engineers is going to be no match against the enemy ranger squad, which does have the range onto our engineering squad. Here comes with the show of force on the right side here, the purple player seemingly having plenty of vehicle support. We're going to be queuing up our tanks, committing our tanks towards the right flank here, as the neon green player is struggling a little bit with the heavy frontal assault of the purple players. BMPs are almost making towards the front line here, as our tank is now going to have to push through the smoke and engage the purple player as well. You can see this position where my tanks are taking up in is going to be a crucial site, because we are going to be able to engage the enemy forces from the flank here. The Su-25ST coming in trying to engage, but this is a mistake, and as I should have used the the Frogfoot here in a different angle, ideally coming in from the left to the right instead of charging in straight ahead. So definitely a lesson to learn. But here we go, the T-72B3Ms is going to be finding out that the enemy RRCs as well as the pararescue squads are now caught out in the open, as our tank has free reign, and once again using the enemy smoke to our advantage. It's going to be engaging and launching some of the strikes into the enemy heavy M1A2 SEP V2. Our T-72 does strike through and destroys one of the enemy tanks. Seed mission here destroys the purple player SHORAD, as well as a ballistic missile, or could be a bomb, destroys another enemy tank here. So T-72 is going to be finding a line of sight into the enemy forces towards the back here. The enemy, excuse me, well, I sort of forgot what the name of this unit here, but it's the Miklik, or the cyclic of the tank here. As you can see, our intervention here has defended the Charlie position from the purple player's assault, and we're gonna have to use the smoke cover right now to pull back our tanks, while our infantry takes up position where the neon green player was and try to eliminate some of the purple player's wounded unit as well. Pink player ideally should have been pushing together with the purple units, purple player, but now has committed, has now finally commit his unit into the assault into the center here. But with our units once again in a good position to be engaging the enemy units from multiple angles here, our BMP-2s are going to be providing a lot of long-range fire support. It's really a perfect incendiary grad strike into the dense clumped out troops of the pink player. Now is going to be burning them off, and you can see our aggression right now is paying off as the neon green player pushes his tank up. Our Motostrauki in support, BMP-2 holding the line, striking down, and this BMP-2Gs is actually equipped with a Grade 8 launcher on top as well, so launching a lot of weapons into the pink player's units for the time being. So another enemy push has been thwarted right now. This is my medvet just trying to figure out what is the best position to be putting down these supplies in. BMP-3's long-range missiles now striking at one of the tanks, but here comes the double Commanche from the purple player squad, and we realize we don't actually have any anti-air assets in play. I do have one of the Igla teams here as well as a Mi-24P Phantom, which is equipped with the R-26 anti-air missiles. R60 anti-air missiles. So we're gonna hope that this Igla is gonna be able to destroy at least one, and does successfully destroy one of the enemy Commanche. But more importantly, we are able to drive the Commanche away from the front line here, which is going to save our tanks as well as our vehicles from any further helicopter harms. With about 57 seconds left on the clock, we're looking at a fantastic position to be winning this game here, as our teammate Neon Green player has already called in GG. In my 28, a Hornet here coming under fire from the enemy STT squad. Delta is still looking to be contested by our side here, so we're going to be pushing some of our units here to try and support our teammate over on the right side. This T-72B3M is going to be taking into the tree line here, overlooking across the river, finding a line of sight into one of the enemy tanks, striking down efficiently with a single shot. We're going to be engaging with the red players M1A2 Sep V2, and it's going to be engaging and deleting that unit as well. So lovely double kill for our T-72. What a fantastic sight to see. 8 seconds left on the clock, and it's very little that the enemy can do at this point in the game. And there we have it. GG, and the game ends. We are what a fantastic match. I love the Frogfoots there. It's definitely providing a lot of value for us. We ended up with 10,265 kills, 6,395 deaths, with a fantastic ratio of 1.61. So a very interesting match. I hope you enjoyed that one. My apologies for not uploading more in the past. I've been quite busy with life right now, and hopefully I can get more videos for you guys soon. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.